ever wonder where antibiotics come from and that when a doctor prescribes them to you, where do you think they come from? Well, we can take microbiology for that. Microbiology is the study of microorganisms, and these microorganisms can be split into three different types. There is multicellular, there is acellular, and there is unicellular. Now, we're going to start with unicellular. Unicellular is a single cell, in which unicellular are like your diatoms or your E. coli. Now, multicellular organisms are your cell colonies, which would be like your body tissues or prokaryotes. Now, when we go to acellular are organisms that lack cells. And then they wouldn't be considered alive. But many scientists believe that acellular organisms, like viruses, are considered to be alive. Now, when we think of these different microbes or microorganisms, a lot of people fear them, but we forget about the ones that actually do help. And they are like ones that we use for like fermentation or the process of dairy, in which we produce dairy products like cheese and milk and yogurt. But when we think of microbes in fermentation, these are the ones that they ferment the beer and they ferment the wine and the vinegar, in which they create these things. We forget about them. But we also think about also the process of antibiotics. And they're the molecular vehicle that transfers DNA to make complex organisms like plants and animals. And without them, we wouldn't exist. And there are many different types of them, but with microbiology, when you really look at microbiology, the main study is done by growing these organisms and creating them to grow and then to study. Now, a lot of microbiologists will create agar plates, in which agar plates are just little nutrient bacteria plates that these different organisms will grow on. And once these organisms grow, they will look at these organisms and see how they are put together and how they grow. And then they study them and they try to find ways to figure out how these organisms, what they're immune to and what they're not immune to. And when you really look at microbiology, it's become a big thing that a lot of people don't realize what goes on. But microbiology is a big, big part of life.